Greetings, scholars. Welcome back. Hey, we had a little discussion about the sociological imagination and C. Wright Mills, thinking yourself beyond yourself, connecting yourself to a bigger world. So, before we do that, it's important to go back and think about who you are. All right. Have you ever, um, let me share my screen here so we can start looking at this. Okay, so you should have accessed this worksheet. So you kind of know the categories that we're that we're working with today. So use this worksheet as we progress. And what we're going to end up doing here is um, I'm going to do a little presentation on each of these categories, your events, school, etc. I'm going to have you go think about those for a while and take 2 minutes to script out notes, whatever. How did dad, mom, family structure, okay? So I'm going to introduce each little section, and then you'll go and spend a couple of minutes responding to that, generating the ideas. And of course, one will likely build on the other, and we'll see how that goes. But so I have in the notes, you can actually see it here if you want to follow along. We all think that we're individuals. We're thinking right. Rugged individualism is one of the cultural norms of American society, correct? But so nobody tells us what to do. Freedom. Look at the issues that come up that a small thing that can become a big symbol. The recent COVID thing and the masks, wearing masks, right? Freedom, personal freedom. But it's important for you to think about. You have strong opinions on issues, not everything, and some more than others. But you do have opinions. But the important thing is, have you ever thought about how you got those opinions? How did you get to where you are? How do you think about the things that you think about? Right? You have a process. Have you ever thought about the way you think? That's part of what we're doing in this class is thinking about how we think. And so with your history and biography, we start with the general concept of C. Wright Mills, and then we move a little bit back to think about you. Okay? So you can see here on the screen, we have events, trends, family, peers, school, work, media. Um, Events. This is my favorite example that I like to give. Um, 9/11. You say that word, everybody has a certain understanding about what that is. Now, the understanding that you have, when I first started teaching, I used to teach it in the base out in Lemoore on the naval base, and I had students in my class who were there as Marines because of what happened on 9/11. Now, that's a heck of an event to affect your life. I speak to you about it, and some of you, depending on your age and relative date, some of you were not even born or just a few years old when it happens. So it changes over time. Something that happens to you is going to be not perhaps not unique to you, but you're going to have your own set list of inventory of things that affect you. Okay, so the first category, I know it's not in order here, but the first order, the first up is the family. This is your absolute primary agent of socialization, right? So I want you to think about your family, the composition. What does that mean? Was it just you, only child? Well, was it just you? Obviously, your parents. Maybe you had one parent though, a single mom. Perhaps you were the difference and had a single dad. Did you come from a huge family, 9 kids, 7 kids, whatever? Or were you the only child? Were you the middle child? Right? Um, what what happened with that? Also, generation, and I put size. I think I've already covered the size a little bit. Did you come from a huge family? But this can even be. We have a large Hmong community here in Fresno, and they tend to live generationally in the same uh, apartment complex, house, whatever. So you'll have grandparents, some great grandparents, grandparents, parents, children, grandchildren, all living together multi generation. How do you do? What's your situation? Um, think about that. Uh, Again, parents, guardians, who helped you, who raised you? Was it the grandma because mom and dad something happened, or was it just the mom? Did you have two moms and an auntie and who knows? Think about your family construction and think about the effect that it had on you. What do you think it did? Geography, proximity. This one's important. Do you live close? Are your family scattered? My family, scattered. Not East Coast, all West Coast, but my mom's in New Mexico. My dad's on the Central Coast. One of my sisters lives for a time in Idaho, and then so we stay the West Coast, but we're spread out. Of course, that affects how often you get to see them, and other types of things. Okay, so having said all of that, what I want to do is pause for a moment, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, and so right past. Don't think about it a lot. This is not contemplation. And what you, I just want you to just bulletproof. Just these are kind of brainstorming. Just throw the ideas out there. What do you think of your family composition? How did it contribute to who you are? Perhaps your strong beliefs or values. Um, so I will stop. Let me just over here. We will pause now, and I'll bring you back in 2 minutes. See you then. Okay, and welcome back. How did it go? Did you do what I recommended? And I've been doing this assignment for many years, so we do have some sort of standard things that I've seen: the composition, um, your generations, your size. I find that being an only child is very influential. You have brothers and sisters around. Also, I find that people who are geographically spread out are a bit more independent. Did you find that about yourself? That more dependent maybe on social media and that kind of alternative sort of contact rather than the face-to-face stuff. Of course, for the last year, we've all been aware of the face-to-face stuff. But anyway, well, actually, by a year or more. Anyway, parents, guardians, did you have a strong single mom? Is that who made you who you're a strong single? And just because you had mom and dad doesn't mean you can't be a strong young woman or man on your own. But anyway, there are some commonalities, and at some point we will share this either discussion board or face to face if we get that opportunity. We'll be able to talk with your peers and share some of this stuff, or discussion board post some of this stuff, and you'll be able to sort of get a sense. You go, oh yeah, oh wow, I never thought about that. That really would have that effect on you. So anyway, that's what we're going to do at some point when we get to see each other, and then but let's go ahead and move over to the next one, your school. So I'm going to talk through a little bit about think about your school and who you thought about. I'm not going to give you as much description on this one. I wanted to kind of walk you through the family one first. Um, but did you go to public private school? What's the difference there? Rural, urban? Did you go to single or did you go to one school? I mean, you don't go to one school, but I went to the same elementary school, the same, there was only one elementary school. I went to Fowler High School. There was only one elementary school at the time, one middle school, and one high school, right? Well, teachers, I can think of a teacher. Can you? Anyway, think about your education, school, and think about how that affected you and your opinions as well. All right, again, 2 minutes. We'll come back and we'll talk through again. Okay, thank you.